What's happening, everybody? Hello.
Morning.
What's going on?
Hey, cool.
Hello.
Good
morning.
Hey, look at all the smiling faces.
Good morning.
My name is Jim, and I run Next Level Coaching, and you are on the Newbie Insanity call. It's about an hour call, and what we're going to do today is we're going to take roll here in a minute. Aaron's going to take roll to see who's here and not here. And then we are going to go through the forms and how to fill them out and take questions along the way. We're going to go through the 4 main forms plus the extra forms that we use for coaching and go through the structure. All right, Aaron, you think you're ready to take a little roll or no? Cool. Is that it?
That's it. If you're new
Hallelujah.
and I didn't
Goodness.
call your name, let me know.
Aaron, it's Danny Riley. I hopped on here a minute
there you are.
late. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Danny.
Already. Cool.
Lamont Dotbolt's here.
Melissa
Beautiful.
Fraser's on as well.
So if we called your name, it was because you're a first-time person. We invited everybody to watch this for how to fill out the forms correctly and be able to ask questions about the calls. So there's a bunch of people on here who aren't going to be on the roster if it's not your first time being coached. Just so everybody knows. All right, cool. I'm going to get going anyways. We have a recorded version of this that you can get by emailing Aaron. In addition to that, all the forms that I go over today, Aaron has sent to you. And if she hasn't, all you got to do is email her and she will send you the forms that we're going to go over. Oh, okay. If you have a question, maybe you could type it in the chat or wave your little hand or whatever that is. And maybe Aaron can help me to call on you, Aaron, so you can help pay attention on that stuff. But I want to start by going over the structure of our coaching program and what to expect. I'm going to go over some rules of coaching, and then I'm going to go over the forms that we use and explain them and how to do them. And you can ask me questions along the way. We will definitely be done on time by 11 o'clock. And this is being recorded. So if you wanted another copy of it, you could get it from Aaron. All right. So we coach on, if by now you should have gotten your calendar. If not, you would probably need to email Aaron to get a copy of your calendar because maybe you lost it in your email. But your schedule was sent to you. We coach on Wednesdays. So we coach on Wednesdays. You were assigned a coach and a time slot. And that's where you got to be and when you got to be there. We coach, there's 3 different levels in our coaching program. So there's the MLA program. That's groups of 5 or 6 people with a coach that's coached on Wednesdays. And then there's the regular next level coaching, which depending on the size of your team will determine what groups you get put into. Those are also on Wednesdays. Those are in groups of 3 with a coach. And so there's at least 2 coaching calls per month. Okay. And there's 2 months a year where there's a 3rd coaching call because of the way the calendar works. But in general, there are 2 coaching calls a month. The first call of the month, I call it the money call. That's when you would review your personal family budget plus your greatness tracker and whatever the coach has assigned you. So then the second call of the month is lead tracker and paylog. Now on the calendar that was sent to you, it tells you what forms are due for which coaching call. So you got to send, so this is going to turn us into the rules of the calls. So these are the rules of coaching. So you get coached on Wednesday. You have to send in your forms and whatever assignments were given to you 24 hours early. So you got to email your forms into your coach on Tuesday morning. So what you should do is schedule time blocking your calendar on Monday, an hour, probably in the morning, to tighten up your homework, finish it up, and send it in so that you're early. A lot of the coaches, you get to the office, and I get to the office, and I have a coaching call right away at 9 a.m. I don't have time to run around and check the printer and look through my email for last-minute assignments. So the first rule is you got to send it in 24 hours early. Are there any questions on that? Hopefully you're writing these rules down because I need you to write them down, sign it, and send it to your coach on your first call. So the first rule is send in your forms and your homework 24 hours early. All right. The second rule is, it's called the Tigger rule. Let's see, who should I pick on? Brent, what do you think the Tigger rule means?
I don't know, but it probably has something to do with bouncing around.
So Tigger, there's Winnie the Pooh, right? So there's Eeyore and there's Tigger. Eeyore, no matter what happens, he's very down, he's very depressed, he's not happy. And then there's Tigger. Tigger's super excited, bounces around his tail all the time because he's super happy because he's the only one. When you join the coaching call, be Tigger. Do not be Eeyore. Do not come on the call complaining and moaning and groaning about how hard your job is. We don't care. Honestly, we don't care. We all have the same job. We know it's tough. When you get on the call, there's other people on the call. Please don't bring them down by being an Eeyore. So if everybody agrees, raise your hand. No Eeyores. All right, very good. So you write down rule number 2, no Eeyore, be a Tigger. Rule number 3, best efforts. I want you to write down best efforts. Don't jump on the call and say, I didn't know how to fill out the form, so I did it. I'll just learn. No, that's not how you learn. You learn by messing it all up, sending it in, and then the coach tells you what you did wrong. And then because you worked on it, you understand what you did wrong and you get better. So best efforts. It takes a while to get the forms done correctly. It took me 3 to 6 months when I first got coached to get the forms right, especially a personal family budget. It took me a full 6 months. I think because I'm a little slow, I don't learn that fast, and because you only do the budget once a month, so you don't get a lot of repetition. The greatness trackers, those forms are a little easier. All right. So we did the best efforts. On assignments, you have to turn in proof. Rule number 4 is you have to turn in proof of whatever your assignment is. Yeah, I did it is not proof. So if I give you an assignment that says you got to do 10 open houses this weekend and you got to call 50 realtors in one day, you would take selfies at the open houses and send them in to me for proof. And you would have a list of the 100 realtors, their names and their phone numbers, and you'd have a pen when you call them and leave a note next to their name. TT, you talked to them. LM, you left a message. You set an appointment with them, maybe you set an appointment at a time. So you have to send in proof of your assignment. Don't just say, yeah, I did it. That don't count. There'll be some kind of accountability. We're not allowed to fine you, so the accountability will be more fun and probably more embarrassing. Any questions on that? Okay. So you got to turn in proof. That's the rule number 4. Rule number 5 is you're going to do a call with your coach, and it's called a 6-month goal sheet that they're going to fill out with you. And you're going to pick 2 things that you want to achieve this semester with your coach. Okay. So an example would be, I want to close 1 loan. Maybe you're a brand new MLA, and by the end of 6 months, you want to have closed a loan, or maybe you want to close 3 loans, or maybe you want to have held. You've gone to 4 open houses every week for the whole semester. You're going to set a goal that's specific, it's measurable, and it's achievable, and that the results of hitting that goal will impact your business. So they're going to do the goals with you, and then they're going to ask you, Jose, they're going to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard do you want to be coached? A 1 being a sissy lala and a 10 being a drill sergeant, right? And so then you got to give them a number. We don't really do 1, 2, 3, 4s, and 5s, okay? We don't really do that. So it's going to be on the upper end. But if you want your coach to bring it because you need a little kick in the behind, tell them a 10. If you get all rattled, if someone gives you pressure around doing what you said you were going to do, maybe you'd be a 7 or an 8. Any questions on that? Okay, cool. And those are the rules. So you got to write them all down, sign them, and send them in. Did I miss any rules, Aaron? No. Okay. Is someone going to say something? Nope, no one's going to say that. All right, so we're going to start with the forms. Let's see. I did the 2 calls. I did the rules. I did all my stuff. Okay, I'm being a good boy, following my stuff. So the first form I want to go over is a lead tracker. So you should have one in front of you, or you can pull it up on your email. So in addition to that, I gave some written instructions to Erin. She's going to send them all out to you by the end of the day. So she sent you the forms already, and by the end of the day, she's going to send you written instructions for each form. Okay? So what you should do right now is, what I would do is I'd have a blank lead tracker in front of me, and I would take notes right on the lead tracker of whatever is that you need to help you remember. So lead tracker is pretty simple. We get coached on lead tracker, the second call of the month. So lead trackers are by month. So you have a January one, a February one, and you start a new one at the beginning of each month. You put down the lead name, you put down the source in detail. That means you're going to put the acronym. The acronyms are like RLTR, that means realtor. PF, that means personal friend. CCR, that means current client referral. So you'll categorize your lead and then put a dash and then put the name of the person that referred them, if there is a person that referred them. So then you put down the results of the call. Our software program has a drop-down menu for the sources of the call. Here's what I like for sources of the call. If it's blank, that means you're still working on calling them to get an appointment. Like, what's the purpose of a lead? Mr. McBride, what's the purpose of a lead? What are you supposed to do with a lead? You're muted. Oh, wait, it's going to be great. Nope, it's going to happen. Here it comes.
Here it
Oh,
comes.
there it is.
Sorry about that. The purpose of a lead is to convert it, right?
No, to
No?
set an appointment,
Oh, well, yes.
right? A lot of you guys get on the phone with a lead. You start quoting rates, telling them payments, telling them cash to close, and then they don't need you anymore, so they don't come into the appointment, and you have no rapport with them, and then they leave you and shop you. So when you get a lead, you're supposed to call them and say, hey, I'm really busy. I'm about to walk into a meeting, but I wanted to call you real quick because it's important to me to get back to you quickly. You referred to me by Tom Phillips, and I want to meet with you and help you get pre-approved. I have a spot available this afternoon at 3 or tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Which one works? I can take tomorrow at 2. Great. Let me gather just a little information and tell you what to bring. And you would do that for them, and then you would meet them and do the consultation. So lead tracker, under the results of the call, the first one is blank if you're still calling them to get an appointment. The second one would be APPT and then the date and time of the appointment that you set. The third one would be dead. That's if you've given up or they don't qualify. And the fourth one would be contact manager. Sometimes I talk to them and they'll be like, well, we decided we're not going to buy a house until December. So we don't want to get pre-approved right now. I say, okay, great. I'll call you in September. You come in, get pre-approved in September so you can be ready to buy a house in December. So I'll call you September 1st. And then I put on here contact manager September 1st. And then I schedule them in my calendar to call them on September 1st. And then I don't forget. So the better you are at converting leads, the more money you make, but also the better your realtors will like you. Because when I call and update my realtor, I can show them a picture of my lead tracker. They know I'm organized and they know that they can trust me with their leads. All right. So you put their phone number on there and then a hash mark for each attempted call. We call 8 times before we give up. 8. Don't call them once or twice and give up. You got to call them every day for 8 days and then give up. Down at the bottom, you got to fill out your goal. So the conversion rate is about 25% of leads go to closing. Okay. So if you want 4 leads, if you want 5 closings a month, how many you would need 20 leads. So you got to set a goal. The goal section at the bottom here, it has a G, and you put down what's your goal for CCRs each month? What's your goal for PCRs each month? What's your goal for PCs? What's your goal for realtors? And you fill in the number and you make it add up to the right number to give you the amount of closings that you want. If you get 10 leads, you'll have about 2 closings. If you get 20 leads, you'll have about 4 closings. If you get 30 leads, you'll have 6 or 7 closings. Make sense? Cool. So you do your goal section and then you track your leads and you send in your lead tracker for the month you're in. So it won't be completed, although you will total up the bottom when you send it in. The box on the right, it says blank times 35% equals, and it says a 0 there. So you put in the number of leads that is your goal. So for this person, their goal was 20 leads a month, right? So if they got 20 leads a month, 35% would be 7. They should have 7 pre-approvals out of those 20 leads. So that gives them their target of what they're supposed to hit. Then below, we track how many did they really hit, how many deals and how many pre-approvals. Add them up, divide by the number of leads, and you get your closing percentage at the bottom of that box. So you'll work on that each time you get coached, you'll work on that so you fill it out properly. All right, questions on the lead tracker before I go to the next form. Someone's got to ask me a question.
Tim, on the pre-approvals, I see refis and the lead count. Are we doing lead count separated for purchase versus refi?
Not the lead count. So on a lead is a lead and it goes on here. And then it doesn't say refi, that's hashtag REF exclamation point. That is some kind of computer generated error message. I have no idea what it means, but it doesn't mean refi.
Once you start
Okay.
putting the calculations in, it'll automatically generate the percentage.
Mary? You're muted.
I was looking at the purchase volume versus refi volume is all. So it's all in the same still.
Yeah, I guess I misunderstood you. I thought you saw something on here that indicated that. You're muted again. There we go.
I was, what the?
Oh, now you're muted again. There you go.
Hey, have I learned to work Zoom first?
Yay. It's only been 3 years since COVID hit. We'll wait. So does that make sense, Mary?
I was just looking at the percentages on the bottom side when you just said that, if your goal number times 35% equals the pre-approvals that are shopping, that's not counting your refis as real deals.
It is counting your refis as real deals to get to
Okay.
35%.
Thank you.
Yep. A deal on here is a lead you got that month that you pre-approved or a refi that you locked. So let me back up. So a deal is a lead you got this month that was already in contract. So it came to you in contract. That's a deal. Or a refi that you locked. That's a deal. But it would be a lead for this month. And then the pre-approvals are people who came in to get pre-approved and you convert them to pre-approved and they're shopping for a house. You would track those two, add them together, and then do the percentages at the bottom for your batting average. Your batting average should be at least 35%. Really good people I've seen get up to 50%. People who think they are higher than 50% is because they don't put all their leads on their lead tracker. Any lead you get goes on here, whether they qualify or not. All right, any more questions on this form?
Does anyone know if the lead tracker in Jumbo will print out to meet the criteria on this, or does this need to be hand filled out?
I have that answer. It does. It's awesome. You can fill in your goals as well, and it will calculate for you. And you can generate a report that prints out just like our form.
Perfect.
The little calculation box at the bottom ends up at the top, but it's the same thing. It's awesome.
But if it doesn't work for you for some reason, then you would need to do it with a pen and make it right before your coaching call. Like, don't get on the call and say, oh, the computer glitched, so I didn't send it. I don't want to hear none of that. You guys got it. The only way I can coach you guys properly is if the data is in front of me. So the coaches need to see the data. They need to see how many leads you got. They need to see how many got pre-approved. Otherwise, they can't help you with your weaknesses. The forms point out your strengths and your weaknesses to us. So they got to all be done the same way, and you got to send them in and total them up, even if the computer glitch happens. Good question. Any last questions on lead tracker? Does a lead count if a realtor told me they gave me the card to the client, Mr. Smith? So I got this realtor named Rich, and he calls me, hey, I gave your client to Mrs. Smith. What's her first name? It's Peggy Smith. So I'm like, okay, I'm putting her on my lead tracker. If I don't hear from her by Monday, can I call you and get the number? That's what I say. So yes, I put it on lead tracker, and you should too. And then when they first give me the lead, I pre-close them for me calling them and getting the phone number. Hey, if I don't hear from them in 2 days, can I call you and get the number? Yeah. Half the time they go, you want me to just give it to you now? Yes, I want you to give it to me now. Otherwise, I'll call you in 2 days and get it for you then. But yes, that goes on the lead tracker. Good question. Other questions? Last chance. All right, that's over. We're going to Paylog. So Paylog is the next form that we fill out. So you should have 12 Paylogs for the year, right? So I like to keep my Paylogs in a folder. And I start the beginning of the year and write all 12 months out. So then when I lock a loan, I go to that month's Paylog and enter it on the form. So it's March 24th, and I lock a loan that's going to close in April. So I would go to my April Paylog and write, April 24th, close, dismiss. So I fill out the close date, the client's name, how much I'm going to make on the deal, the loan amount, and then the source of business in detail. So that would be the acronym again, and then a dash, and then the name of the person who sent you that deal. That way, at the end of the year, you have 12 Paylogs, and you can look at them and do a summary and find out who sent you the most closed loans. Right? You can see who the people are that supported your business the best, and you can make sure that you spend time with them on the holidays and give them lots of thanks. So then at the bottom, you fill out the totals, units closed for the month, units closed year to date, how much you made in commission this month. Then you do some averages, your average commission per unit, your average commission year to date. You do your volume year to date. So you keep a running total, and you fill out all these boxes towards the bottom. So you are expected, if you're going to work at Summit, you got to close 5 loans a month. 5. That's 60 loans a year. If you close 60 loans a year and you make $4,000 a loan, how much would you make? $240,000. You guys are very good at math. Very good. You guys are supposed to help me out here a little bit. You make $250,000 for 5 closings a month. How does that sound? Does anybody want that job? I want that job. So the bare minimum is 3. Okay. So we have a coaching program to get you to 5 and beyond that. The bare minimum is 3. We're not a company for people closing 0 or 1 loan a month. So we take your coaching seriously, get assignments, and do the activity. The secret to closing more loans is to do more activity. It's really just about activity. It's not about skill. It's about how much and how often. Don't do 1 open house a week. Do 4 to 8 open houses a week. Don't go see 1 office a week. Go see 6 or 8 real estate offices a week. Don't call 10 realtors, call 40. Don't text 3 realtors, text 20. Just increase the activity and you get around more realtors. Some of them like you and you get business. It's a simple game. So that's Paylog. Any question on Paylog? Yes, Floor.
I'm sorry, one more time. Do you write the months that you get the commission on that month or the month that it's closing on that month?
The month it's closing.
Okay.
Whatever month it's closing.
And you want to
Hold on. Sherry's next. Go ahead, Sherry.
And should we also go back and fill out January, February, March, even though they're past? So we have this whole year.
Sure.
Okay.
That would be fantastic.
Okay.
You should fill out January, February, March. That way your year-to-date numbers work. I think that is fantastic. More questions?
Paylog is the first call of the month.
Paylog is the second call of the month is lead tracker and Paylog. The first call of the month is personal family budget. All of them include the forms that we're going to go over at the end.
Gross or net commission?
Well, what do you mean by gross or net? By net, you mean after taxes?
No, after our expenses for team costs.
Yeah, it'd be gross commission. And at the bottom, it says average team expense. So you put in a monthly amount, and then it gives you a formula. Gross commissions year to date, divided by number of months, minus your average team expense equals your approximate pay. There's a way to calculate your year-end pay on there at the bottom. It's pretty complicated. After you've been doing the Paylog for a while, you can start doing that one on the call with your coach. The formula is right there. It's really not that hard once you're filling out the forms. Good question. More questions about the Paylog? So you get coached like on the 17th of the month, let's say. You get the coached on the 17th of April, let's say. You would give me your April lead tracker, even though it's not completely the end of the month. You would give me your April lead tracker so I can coach you on current information and you would give me your April pay log, even though all those loans haven't closed yet, because most of them close at the end of the month, you would fill it out as if they already closed. And then at the end of the month, if you had some roll, you would correct your pay log and total it up properly at the end of the month. These are business skills that you're learning. Like if you want to run a business, do you think you have to do a month-end summary of your revenue and your expenses and see how much you made? Or do you think you just run through life with your eyes closed and hope it all works out? Okay. Each month in your business, you got to total up the data. So this is you totaling up the data. Okay. Any more questions on Paylog? Yay. The next one is personal family budget. So you open up the personal family budget. The way that you write down the budget properly is like the next personal budget will be the April 1st personal family budget. I fill out my family budget at the end of the month, usually around March 28th. I'll fill out my April 1st personal family budget. Column 1 is the title of the expense. Column 2, that's how much where I put my minimum monthly owed. So I don't put like what I want my monthly amount to be, like a guesstimate on how much I want to keep my groceries to. In column 2, I don't put that there. I don't put that anywhere on this form. I put how much did I actually spend that month on that category. Then the next one is, what was the minimum owed? The next column is column 3. That's how much I actually spent. For example, you have a Citibank Visa. You open the statement. It says you owe $3,100. So in the credit cards, in column 1, you write Citibank, comma, $3,100. Then in column 2, you put down what that statement said was the minimum payment. It said I owe them $3,100 and my minimum payment's $360. So in column 2, I write $360. But then I paid it off in full that month of $3,100. So in column 3, I write $3,100. That's how I fill out this form. Then column 5 is your deposits. So all your paychecks in the month of March that you received would go in your April 1st family budget, plus any other checks that you received and you deposited in your checking account. So column 5 is checks deposited, and then column 4 is the amount saved. The amount saved. So that's any money you didn't spend. It's if you're on the 401k program, it's how much went into the 401k program, and you total it up and you start paying attention to how much money you're saving each month. When I started doing this, I was a perfect spender. I basically spent every dime. And then slowly by looking at it, I started spending less. And then as I made more and spent less, I started saving. And then I saved. 25 years later, I have a bunch of money in the bank, like way more than I ever thought I would, more than $1 million. It's crazy. And the only way you get there is one small step at a time. There's no way to be all of a sudden have a big savings account. You got to just start filling out this form and working towards it. At the bottom, we fill out what your money market balance is. A money market balance is just a savings account. That's all it is. So if the word money market freaks you out and starts making you think of like mutual funds and stocks, put a line through it and write savings. It's just a savings account. It's just a variable rate savings account. You're asking me about does savings, it's up to your coach. So if I'm coaching you and you're brand new and you have a bunch of credit card debt, I'll track something called paid debt. So we'll track how much debt you paid off for the semester, and we'll put it on the line of savings, because there's 6 steps to financial freedom. First one is track every dollar. You can't skip steps. So the first one is track every dollar. That's this form. The second step is pay off your credit card debt. Pay all your debt off. Third step is save your float. That's 3 times your survivor number. So you have some money in the bank for emergencies. The fourth step is max out your 401k. The rest of the steps, don't worry about until we get there. Just focus on those steps. Don't worry about what stocks you should have. Like if you have credit card debt and you invested in the stock market, you're silly. Don't do that. The money in the stock market is at risk. It's going to earn you 9%. and the credit card debt is costing you 15. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Don't do it. All right, I think someone had a question. Questions on the budget? Personal family budget questions?
I got a question. Are we putting like the money that's contributed out of our paycheck for 401 or IRA or whatever it may be into total monthly paid?
Yes. It wouldn't be in column 2 or 3 or 5. Why?
You're not receiving the money and it's not a bill that goes away.
Yes. Most people won't take about 2 years to figure that out. They think that, well, there's not a math equation at the bottom, like column 3 plus column 4 does not equal column 5. That's not how it works. Column 3 and column 5, there's 3 things I look at to see if someone's doing their budget right. Ooh, I almost got, my little computer almost fell off there. There's 3 things I look at when I coach you to see if you're doing it right. The first question is, do column 3 and 5 match? Column 5 is the money that went into your household checking account. Column 3 is the money that came out. And all the money has to come out. Why?
Because every dollar needs to be accounted for.
Well, because you'll spend it. That's why. If you leave money in your checking account, you'll know it's sitting there and you'll go spend it. So anything extra after you pay your bills, you transfer into the savings account. So it says on here, money market. So a money market would say 0 in column 2, and then an entry would be entered there to make column 3 and 5 match. I deposited 5,000. My bills were 4,000. I saved 1,000. So I'd enter 1,000 on line column 3 next to money market, and 1,000 in column 4 next to money market. Make sense? All right. Any other questions on the budget?
Yeah, Karina had a question. She said, are we adding money towards savings for our kids' saving? Example, money towards a school IRA.
That's up to you. I don't know. It's up to you. Like those savings plans, 429s, they're not really that great of a deal. I saved money for my kids, but I don't put it in a 429. So I have money come out of I pay money each month for each one of my kids. I give them each $600 a month for college, and I have for the last 20 years. So they got a lot of money in there. But I count it as my regular savings on this form. So you definitely count it. What if you use a credit card all month for your expenses to earn points and then pay it off? Well, then you would break down the bill by category and put it on here. Citibank credit card, minimum balance was $2,200. Minimum payment was $100. I paid $22. And then I look at my statement and I sort it by category and I put a little star next to it, the ones that were included in the credit card. I want to see how much you're spending at Starbucks and how much you're spending at Target and how much you're spending on Amazon and how much you're spending over here and over there. Now, if you're saving 30% of your paychecks every month and you're spending money on the credit card and paying it off and you have no debt, I won't make you break it out because you're saving the amount you're supposed to. I don't really care. My job as a coach is to make sure that you're saving 20% of your deposits. If you just do that and wake up 25 years from now, you will be rich. Okay? You will be rich no matter how much money you make. You can make it a lot faster. You can get rich a lot faster if you do a lot of loans and save a lot of money. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It's not impressive to me. It only matters how much money you save. That's impressive. I got plenty of friends who make more than $1 million a year and don't have a dime in the bank. And they keep buying new stuff. They're trying to fill a hole that's not fillable. It'll never be filled. So you can't go down that path. You get a moment of happiness and then you're miserable again. It's not how you get happy by buying stuff. It don't work. Save money. That gives you choices. It helps you take care of other people. Money gives you the ability to take care of other people. That's why I save money. All right. Any other questions?
For the 401k, since it's a personal budget, do we include Summit's contribution of the 3% or no?
Are you vested in it right away?
No.
No, then the answer is no.
Okay.
Like if you got fired tomorrow, you don't get that money. You know that, right?
Yes, I know that.
So no, but good question. Other questions? Yes, Jacqueline.
Hi, I'm new and I'm still, I'm not earning enough to cover my expenses and I'm living out of savings. What do you do there? It's
You
kind of
enter a
messy.
line called transfer from savings,
Okay,
how much you're transferring. You have to still track it all and work on spending less so that you're transferring less and less from your savings.
yes,
And you
okay,
need to do 8 open houses every weekend, and you need to visit 8 offices every week. And you need to join 2 groups like the Women's Council of Realtors and the Chamber of Commerce. And you need to be on the board. You need to be the secretary or the treasurer in those groups. So that's your job to call and remind people to come. So you get to know them so they'll use you for a loan. If you're not doing all those things, I mean, I don't know what your job title is, but if you're listening to me and you're an MLA or you're new to the business, you have to do what I just said. I'm not giving it to you as a recommendation. That is your job. So if you need to take half a day off on Friday because you're going to work 4 hours on open houses on Saturday, great. But you're working 4 houses out on a Saturday. Don't skip it. You won't make it. Rates are 5%. Okay, y'all? Last time rates were 5% was January of 2019. Jose, do you remember January of 2019? What was it like?
It was hard.
It was ugly. My branch closed 63 loans that January. This January, we closed 140. That's a pretty big difference. So when rates are 5, it's a tough business. The only thing that solves it is more leads. And the only way you get more leads is to be more active and talk to and have friends that are realtors. That's the only way. And the only way you meet them is to go to open houses and to go to real estate offices and drop off some flyers and to join 2 organizations and be part of it. Your job is to be the best friend of really good realtors. That's your job. There's no way to be their friend if you're not hanging out with them. So find a way to hang out with them. And this is the way you find a way to hang out with them. Good question. I don't remember how we got there, but you got me fired up. Another question.
On that first personal budget call that we have with our coach, can we have our spouse, or is that just up to our coach if they join us or not?
In general, no. You could ask your coach, but in general, we don't want everybody bringing their spouse. I think that you would do a one-off call with your spouse if you wanted to with your coach. If you're trying to get your coach, your spouse on board with the budget, it's a difficult topic. So a lot of times the people that are in the program, next level coaching, want to go home and tell their spouse, but I have to do this. We got to do this. I'm in this coaching program and they're making us do this. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to be told what to do. I especially don't like to be told what to do by my woman's boss. Okay? So your approach needs to have a little style when it comes to getting the household on form. So if you fill the form out, the way I did it is fill the form out, total it up, sign it, and leave it on the kitchen table. They'll look at it. The power of this form is if you just look at where the money's going and how much is going there, it will change your behavior. The first thing it'll do is change the way you think. That'll change what you believe about money, and that will change your behavior around money. Like when I start doing this form with people, I've had people spend $280 a month at Starbucks. $280 for coffee. That's stupid. I don't care if you're a millionaire, that's stupid. So we got to look at it by category and be in balance. Good question. More questions around money? Aaron, looks like you're laughing. You're laughing at them because they're going to be so scared of me. That's what it looks like.
I'm laughing at the 280 Starbucks people that you see their eyes go.
Yeah. You cannot do that. It's silly, right? Silly. Everybody's going to be driving electric cars because gas is $6. Don't get me started on that. What's the number one supplier of oil in the world? What country is the number one supplier of oil in the world besides you, Aaron? Who? What country?
USA.
Saudi Arabia.
The United States. So the price of gas is not because of the war and not because of Russia, okay? It's a scam. Get me fired up. All right, any other questions on budget? Nope. I'm not gonna cover profit and loss. Profit and loss is for the third level, the highest level of coaching. You guys will cover that on your coaching call. There's not a lot of people on here who are gonna do a P&L. I will tell you, you must do a P&L if you have a team, and you must do it right, and you gotta ask your coach the right way to do it. So P&L is an important form if you have team members. So if you're a loan officer on here and you have a team, you need to make sure that the P&L is focused on your calls and ask a lot of questions around it. I think we covered how to fill it out on the last one I recorded. There's probably a recording that you can watch on how to fill it out. All right, now I'm jumping into the extra forms. These forms are due every time you get coached. You guys got it? Every time you get coached. The first one is the greatness tracker. Oh, someone did double greatness tracker. Oh,
I gave you
double.
both.
Wow, okay, you gave them both. Okay. Who divided? Wow, someone divided the lines for double greatness tracker. Nice job. Double greatness tracker is assigned to you when? When do you think you get assigned double greatness tracker? Someone.
When you're half of your dashboard.
Nice. When you're not meeting your dashboard, when you're half of it, your dashboard is how much you're supposed to save each month, how much you're supposed to make each month. So if your dashboard is you're supposed to make 20 grand a month and you're making 10, you probably would assign double greatness tracker. It's a lot of work. Guess what? So is making money. Like, so is making money. You should either be on the phone with a client or sitting in front of a client, on the phone with a realtor, or sitting in front of a realtor at least 70% of your work hours if you're an originator. Some of you are MLAs and you're on a team and you don't have as much time to work on your origination business, so it doesn't apply to you. You'll be on these calls doing role plays and learning how to be a better salesperson while you're developing by learning how to work on loans through the team that you're on. So not everybody's in the same spot. So it does get customized a little bit. But for greatness tracker, the first column is face-to-faces. So it says up to 3 people. So if you go to lunch with 3 realtors, you get to count all 3 as face-to-faces. If you do a leveraged event and there's 20 people in the room, those are not face-to-faces. That's just simply a leveraged event. All right, Chad took a phone call. All right, so a face-to-face is like if I meet with a client by video, I count it. If I meet with a client in person, I count it. If I meet with a realtor in person, I count it. If I go to a signing and I get to see the realtor and the borrower, that was 2. That's a face-to-face. If we ate food while we hung out, that's a break bread. So I have a face-to-face in the morning where I have breakfast with a realtor. I would put their name as a face-to-face and I would put their name as a break bread. So that's face-to-faces. Break breads are the same thing, only you share food. I don't want you setting up lunch appointments with realtors you don't know. I do not want you to go to lunch with realtors you don't know unless it's a buddy lunch. So if you already have a realtor that sends you business and loves you, and you call them and you take that person to lunch and they bring a friend that's a realtor, yes, I want you to do that. But if you're cold calling realtors and just asking them to go to lunch with you, I can tell you that the ones that will go suck. Okay? They're the ones with no business to refer. And then you'll go to lunch with them and the 2 of you will talk about how hard this business is and you'll never make it. So do not take them to lunch. Don't. Lunch is a maintenance tool for realtors that already give you business. You start buying people lunch that haven't used you yet, they won't respect you. Like, do you think I go to lunch with title reps that I don't know? No. Why not? I mean, I have a lot of title business I can direct. My branch does 100 and something loans a month, and I personally am a top 15 loan rep at Summit. I could direct some title business. Do you agree? But I don't go to lunch with title reps I don't know. Why? Anyone?
We had the time.
I don't have the time. Yeah, and if I'm gonna eat with someone, I want to eat with someone I like. I'd rather go to lunch with Aaron than some title rep I don't know. And that's the way good realtors are. They're not gonna go to lunch with you if they don't use you and don't know you. The good ones will not say yes. The ones that'll say yes are the ones that do 2 deals a year, and you ain't getting either one of those. Okay, so that's face-to-face, break breads, and great phone calls is conversations, whether they dial in or you dial out. You keep track of conversations you had about business, updating them on a lead, setting up, getting ready to work an open house with them, conversations about business. Events attended or host. So you got to do a leveraged happy hour each month and a leveraged lunch and learn or video and learn each month. So you would track how many you did, and you got to do 2 every, at least 2 a month. If you got a leveraged event would be if you did a buddy lunch and there was like 6 realtors there, you would count that as a group event. Video sent, you got to track how many videos sent. You got to send videos to at least 4 groups. That would be realtors, past clients, current clients, business people, builders. You got to track how many hours were prospected, whether on phone or face-to-face. That's how many hours we're in sales mode. So when you're sitting in front of a borrower doing a pre-approval, is that green time? Yes. If you're sitting in front of a realtor, hanging out with them, getting to know them, playing golf, is that green time? Yes. If you're working on a file or you're working on a flyer, is that green time? No. If you're talking to a coworker about a loan scenario and asking 57 people the same question, even though you already know the answer. Yeah, that's you guys. I see you doing it. That's not green time. All right. So track your hours prospected. We got to send 10 thank you cards out a week. I send a thank you card to everybody who gave me a lead and every closed deal. That definitely takes up my 10 easily. Track your leads. We don't track internet leads. Those are different. So we track your leads, your deals, and your pre-approvals at the bottom. So this is due every coaching call. So you're going to do 2 full weeks. So you get coached on a Wednesday. So you're going to turn in the previous 2 full weeks greatness trackers. That way they're complete. The previous 2 full weeks. Don't forget that. Questions on greatness tracker? Nothing?
Yes, sir. I got one.
All right, Chuck, let's see.
So when we're filling out our face-to-face or our break breads, do you want us to actually put the names of the realtors that we're meeting with or the people that we're meeting with, or you just want us to put a tick mark?
No tick marks. No tick marks. Definitely the name.
Okay.
You should fill out your greatness tracker one of 2 ways. As you go, that doesn't work for me, but some people like it. As you go, like you would have it on a clipboard and you would carry it around and you would have it next to you all the time in your car and carry it into your office, and you would fill it out as you go. Or for me, I fill it out the following morning. So on Tuesday morning, I'll fill out Monday's column for greatness tracker. I have my printed calendar. I look at that. I can fill out my face-to-faces and break breads if I had them. I have my cell phone. I make all my calls from my cell phone, and I have all my realtors' names in my cell phone, and the other numbers I can kind of figure out. And I use that to help fill out my phone calls. My team can tell me what we did, what videos we did, what leads we got, deals, and pre-approvals and new contracts. So I fill it out the following morning. That's how I do it. You can pick one of those 2 ways. Good question. More questions? Yeah.
Does coffee count as break bread, or does it have to be food?
Coffee counts as break bread. Good question. Other questions on greatness tracker? Your job is to learn how to fill it out, but I'm telling you, your life depends on you filling it up. You've got to fill this thing up every week. It's a hassle. I hate it. But if you're doing your daily theme calls and you've established 6 or 8 offices you go see every week, like if you're new to the business, pick 6 or 8 boutique real estate offices and go see the same ones every week for 9 months. If you do that, by the end of 9 months, you'll own that office. You'll own it. No one gives them boutique offices any attention. They all go to the Keller Williams or the Caldwell Bankers. And you walk in there and they make you feel like you are scum. Oh, another lender's here. Oh, another lender. What do? Oh, a lender. Don't waste your time going to them big offices. You go and you find small offices. There's a million boutique real estate companies in America, more than that. In my town, on this one street, I gave an assignment to one of my loan officers. I'm like, you drive down Sunrise Boulevard and you stop at every real estate office. It took him 3 days. That's how many real estate offices were on Sunrise Boulevard. There's a bunch. So you want to pick an office with like 5 to 15 agents in it and some broker that's been in the business a long time. And you want to go give them lots of honor, drop them off cool things, have a great personality, and keep coming back. If you keep coming back, then they'll know that you're a survivor. If you show up once or twice and then want to call me and tell me it don't work, I'll tell you and remind you that I told you not to bother. If you won't do it for 9 months straight, don't bother. It's what you need to do to bust into the business. And if you're struggling in your business, if you're a loan rep on this call and you used to could, and you're trying to figure out how to do it again, I just told you how to do it again. It'll work. All right, you guys got me fired up. Any other questions on Greatness Tracker? Like most people get into our business and they're trying to figure out what to do that works. And they're hoping that they're doing the right things. In this program, we know what to do. You don't got to hope or wonder. You just got to do it. And then you'll make it. The only people who don't make it are the ones who don't do it. And then it's funny, they want to tell me it don't work, but they never did it. Kind of cracks me up. All right. So your closings for last month is the next form. It says, my closings last month. And you fill out the form and call them all. Highlight 30, 60, 90. So you can write down, I call them 1, 2, and 3 months after they close. Check in on them, make sure they got their mortgage coupon, make sure they make their first payment, see if they know anybody that needs to refinance or get pre-approved to buy a house, see if they need any help with a gardener or a contractor or a roofer or a tile guy. And then I start working on my list of people I refer, which are all past clients, right? So I do a loan for a roofer, then I call them after it closes and I chitty chat with them and say, hey, dude, people ask me for referrals. You know, can I use you for a referral for roofing? I mean, you already used me for a loan. And then I'll send you business, and all I ask in return is, number one, you do a good job. Number two is, if you know people that need a loan, you send them to me. Okay. Now you got a roster of people that you can refer out to your clients on the 30, 60, 90-day calls. Like if you want to make it, you got to do things that other loan officers aren't willing to do. I'm telling you, other loan officers don't call 30, 60, 90 days after the close and try and help their clients. They get the commission check and they dance around the parking lot and they go buy something they don't need and then they go work on next month. So 30, 60, 90-day calls. You fill this out and send it in. It's easy. Name, address, phone number, their actual close date, whether you talk to them or left a message, and if you gathered any info and you send it in. This one would be done the second call of the month. That gives you time to call them all. So you got to put that down, Aaron. We'll collect that on the second call of the month. Questions on that form? Nope. I gathered all these forms and these tactics from my friends that are coaches and great originators, and we compiled them all together. That's where it all comes from. It comes from people who did your job and did it really well, and then we copied what they do. Oh, I'm almost done. Okay, I did all the forms. I covered everything. Aaron, anything else I need to cover?
No, I will send out what you told me to. And 6-8 form, are we going to use that?
Yes, but I don't have time to cover it. So you guys will learn about it on your calls. The first call, your very first call is going to be the second week of April, because the first week of April, a lot of the coaches, almost all of them, are going to be on the Leaders Club trip. So that's the trip that Summit Funding pays for. If you're a top producer, they pay for your trip. They fly you out there, put you in a nice hotel, buy you food, and we all hang out together and celebrate. So I hope you all can make it next year, right? So we're all gonna be doing that. So the first call of the month, we're gonna double up. It's gonna have more students on it than normal. So just bear with us. We couldn't think of any other way to really accommodate that. So we're doing that. That's the last thing I wanted to cover. I gotta go jump on a call with Todd and I'm late. Bye.
Bye, y'all.